Okay, this is issue number 26, where I will be creating project management scripts for the new project that was created. This is off the heels of issue number 14, so um, if you're interested in what I'm doing here, you might want to go review that one. So the first thing I want to do here is go into launch JSON, and I want to change. Oh, this does say X11. I thought it said Linux, so this is good. Um, what we're going to do actually is we have an ignore txt here, but we're also going to create a launch. Actually, let's just copy this file. Copy and paste it into the project template. And we're going to get rid of the editor ones. We're just going to have Windows runtime and X11 runtime. Those are the two we're going to have, and it'll be a part of our copy here. So we're going to embed that as well. Go embed launch.json var launch string. So this is something we'll want to copy in. We're also going to want to have a build.bat and a build.sh for our build scripts for building the Go project to an executable. So go embed build.bat, build bat, and build shell. Okay, so now we've got the launch, build bat, and build shell, and we'll want to copy those or create files for each one of these strings. So let's make some functions here. Func or write launch files. And lastly, actually, we also want a go mod file, which we'll just copy this. And we'll just have it as Kaiju for now to keep it simple. And we'll deal with project naming stuff later. So go.mod, paste that in there. Go mod. I don't want it to be like a go mod file, so I'll call it go mod TPL for template, or txt is fine. And these shouldn't be runnable, so from here, so I'm also going to call these, I'm going to just make them all txt files, just for clarity. Okay, so .txt, 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 and lastly, I know I can use like a file system here, embedded file system, but this is just, there's not a, if I keep going, I'll add them, but this is fine for now, go mod string. So write launch files is just what I'll call it. So we will, for each one of these guys, we will create and write their strings. So here we will have, we'll create a mapping. Files is equal to map string to string, and we will have launch JSON, build bat, build shell, go mod, those ones. And this is actually the path to the file relative to the project. So this would be .vscode/ for that one. So we'll do for the files in the range. We're not going to do file system write file. We're just going to do the standard create and write file. But I'm a little lazy, so we'll do file.go, and we will copy this part. Essentially what we're doing. So paste that in there. Get rid of this. Okay. Change this to F. Create file. This is going to be, we're going to have to make dir for this one. So we'll do that one in just a second. If it's an error, then return the error. Defer close. Write the string. The string we're going to write is content. and return nil here. Okay, so we're going to make the dir for the VS Code. os.make dir vscode 0655. This returns an error, so if error is not equal nil, return error. Okay. And then we'll write the launch files at the very end. So panic. Okay, so write the launch files and panic otherwise. So we don't have the project template folder here, which is good. We'll go run this, and we're going to get cannot create a file when it already exists. Template main.go 102. Template main.go. Oh, sorry. 102. 102 panic. This is from the writing the launch files. So we're creating VS Code. Let's see, it did not make VS Code. So, oh, we got to pass in the project folder path. String. Make dir file path dot join this and VS Code. So we're going to create file path dot join this and file. And then we're going to pass in that. Okay. Let's delete this guy and run it again. So now we have a project template. We have a VS Code with a launch JSON with the two launch stuff in here, things in here. We got a build, bat, go mod with the Kaiju, everything else. So let's just fill out these build batch files real quick to just something simple. So we don't need any environment like linker flags or anything for Windows thus far. What we are going to do is we're going to run go test with a timeout of 30 seconds -v /.. here, so we can run any tests that exist, and then we're going to check the error level of that result. If it's 0, we'll do this, else we'll do this. So if it's not, we'll say tests failed, skipping code compile. Otherwise, we're going to say echo tests passed, compiling code, go build. And we don't have any tags here because we're just doing Windows. If we did, we'll put in some tags here. This is probably where we could put like OpenGL or whatever, but we do want to allow players to select what renderer they want to use, I suppose. I'm not sure. We'll think about exactly how that's going to work. So we'll leave tags blank for now. We'll do -o. We'll make a bin file or bin folder, and this is where the project name is supposed to go, but I'm just going to call it kaiju.exe for now. And we're going to add in ld flags equals -s and -w. This just makes it a little smaller. We don't need all the symbols and all that stuff. And then we'll run main.go. Okay, so that will be for the, this will be for Windows. Technically, we will probably have another build.bat for JavaScript for WebAssembly. Yeah, which means we'll probably want a builds folder. We'll come back to that concept in just a moment. We'll do /bin/bash export. We do need to see go flags here. ld flags equals. We'll actually just copy this. This ld flags is going to have x11 inside of it. X11. No, I didn't copy it apparently. I pasted. X11. Go test, timeout, 30 seconds, dash v dot slash dot dot. If dollar question mark dash eq0, then else fi echo tests. We'll just copy this from the batch file. Skipping compile. We'll copy this. Echo. And then go build. This one, same thing. We don't have any tags. We'll just copy this go build command. Cool. And it's not going to be an executable because Linux will just call it Kaiju. Or it's not going to be .exe, I mean. So I'm just going to stub in our JavaScript build, so build.js.bat for us for what we're going to do here on Windows for building on Windows. So set GOOS equals JS, set goarch to WASM, set cgo enabled equals 0, go build dash o dot slash bin slash kaiju dot wasm dash ld flags equals -s -w main.go. And for JavaScript, for the shell build.js.sh, let's just grab this sh. Notice we're not doing any tags here, but whatever. Export go s equals js wasm export cgo enabled equals false, and then we'll just do the same go build and then .wasm here. So these should actually be the same. Let me make sure. This one and build.js.sh, these two are the same. Okay. So we're just adding those two in, and we probably want a subfolder for that, honestly. So let's go back to our main go here, and this will be build slash that, build slash that, and I know I said I was going to add an embedded file system here, but I am not going to right now. Build.js.bat. Oh, build.js.bat.txt. I don't want these to be .txt just because. Build.js.bat. Build.js text. So let's copy this one. JS.bat. JS. This will be build.js.js. Okay. So we want to make a build folder, so let's just duplicate this. Build. We can also make a bin folder for when things are compiled out using those scripts. So we'll make those 3 folders, and then we will continue to copy those in. So let's see if we get everything we need when we run template, project template. We have a build folder. We've got the build bat, build JS bat, build JS shell, build shell. Those are all in there. We've got our go mod, and we've got our empty bin folder and our vscode launch. So if I were to create that test project, which I still have that code in, which I should remove. Let's see, build main go, not main go. It's inside of engine editor. I'm going to remove this, but I am going to run it once to create that test project. Okay, test project is created. There it is. It's got the VS Code, it's got the bin, it's got the build, all of those fancy things. So now we're going to open a new window and test it out. Okay, here we are inside of this one. Notice we got the VS Code. So we should have launch Windows runtime, launch X11 runtime. The go.mod is already up with Kaiju. We've got our build scripts in here. So let's try to run the launch Windows. That launches the Windows and it says starting runtime. And now let's try the build script. And these build scripts are made to run from the top level here. So we'd say ./build/build.bat. It's running the test. There are no tests to run. So that might make it complain. No test files. So it says the tests have successfully finished. Then there's a bin and a kaiju, so let's try to run it here. /bin/kaiju, and that's going to run the executable that was built, albeit not responding, probably because we got a bunch of other stuff to do here to finish off what we're doing. The event loop and all of that is pretty tight, and we need to do v-blanks and all kinds of cool stuff, which will clean that up. But for now, it's good enough. We can go ahead and delete this test project folder, test, and project template. So there we go. That gives us everything we need to get things running. I'm going to delete that for this commit. And yeah, so now our project has we can just open up that folder that is created and just run it. The only other thing we need to do is that Kaiju source runtime, which we can do now because it's the whole Kaiju nature. Import source, and then we'll say actually a Kaiju/source. So that means we are going to need the source folder here with a main in it, source.go. That's not going to do anything, and we're going to ignore this when we copy our folders. So import. I don't need to import anything. Func main, and this is actually going to take in a host engine.Host pointer. Cool. Import cycle not allowed. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, we'll figure this part out because I will eventually move, I think, these out of the engine and have them kind of in their own realm. I guess I could do that now just to have things working properly. So let's see. Is there a folder we can put it in? We can put it into a new folder. We'll just put a new package called, it'll just call it Kaiju Runtime. Take these two files, put them into Kaiju Runtime, but we won't be calling them from the host, which I don't think we are. Yeah, we're calling engine.main. So I say Kaiju runtime.main here. Kaiju. I might rename this at some point, but I don't know what else to call it at the moment. So this is good enough. So let's go back to source. Source can now have the host inside of it, which means the runtime is going to need the host pointer, that engine host that it's dealing with, and source.main is going to be called here with the host being passed in, and that means we'll need to pass the host into the editor main as well, and then from here we can pass in the address of the host. Kaiju runtime. This needs to be package Kaiju runtime. I'll call this bootstrap. Bootstrap. Nice. That's what it's doing. Bootstrap. So main, bootstrap main. Kaiju bootstrap. Cool. Awesome. So that will set those up. This will call source main. Source main does nothing. We can just leave it blank, but that means inside of our project template ignore script, we are going to need to add source in here. Source shall be ignored because that's going to be generated. And then we'll need to take this. Actually, we'll just copy this whole thing. And then when we go to build our project inside of editor, create project, we will replace this here so that it matches. There we go. So cool. Now let's do our full cycle here. Let's do our build template. Okay. Let's go back to our editor. We have, let's call our editor create, but we're going to do it from the main real quick. So editor.create, editor.create, oh, come on, project.create project test. Okay. Bootstrap, it disappeared. Where did Bootstrap go? Bootstrap. Okay. So now I will run this to create the test folder. Test folder gets created here. We have a source.go, has all of that. I can do a print line. Working source from project itself. And then I'll open that up. Okay, so this is where we did that print line for the source. So now if I run this guy, launch Windows runtime, we should have working source from the project itself. Sweet. Nice. So that's all set up. Now I'll delete these guys out, keep the source, and that will make it so that we can continue to run here because the source will exist, even though it does nothing. And that makes it the copy parity a lot easier and more straightforward. Less if statements everywhere. Cool, and that's it. We've got our entire project creation set up so far. The only other thing I would do is similarly to how we built how we create the bin folder. I would also create a content folder, which of course is naturally going to come because as we add fonts and other stuff, that guy will pop up. So just for posterity, I'm going to add it in here, content, because it will be coming as a copy. Actually, no, as I create it and I just copy it over. Yeah. Content is going to be interesting. We're going to have editor content, and we will ignore editor content. So yeah, I think we'll ignore that for now. Cool. That's it for this one.